Hello, my name is Amber, and today we will be discussing the uncanny perception of faces and shapes in inanimate objects. Have you ever looked up at the sky and seen clouds in the shapes of animals or people? Perhaps you have looked at a wall outlet and realized it kind of looks like a little surprised face. This recognition of faces and animals in these non living objects can be described as pareidolia. Pareidolia is the tendency to assign meanings to patterns, and it is the foundation of facial recognition. Let's view some examples together. This first picture is of St. Pete's Church found on Michael Bach's Illusion website. It is almost impossible to look at this photo and not see a bird face staring into your soul. Each little round window immediately appears as eyes to the viewer, and the little rooftop looks exactly like a beak. Alright, let's look at another one. A lot of artists actually utilize pareidolia. Within this stack of books, you can see the vague shape of a man with a hat and a scruffy beard. The little paper scraps at the bottom resemble a hand also. Despite there being no human in the picture, we are still able to decipher that it looks like a bearded man. Here's one last one that's a little bit more subtle, in which a girl is disgusted by a leaking flower. If you stand back a bit and look at the picture from bit of a further view, it looks like the outline of a male face. Why are humans so good at recognizing faces? There's a lot of evolutionary evidence to support why humans need facial recognition. For one, humans are an extremely social species. Many studies have shown that humans crave and require connection and contact to other humans. There are also arguments for facial recognition being beneficial in regards to natural selection. Famous scientist Carl Sagan argues that infants needed facial recognition to gain favor of parents, such as being able to recognize smiles. Furthermore, they needed to recognize other humans and be able to differentiate friends from foe or predators. How does the actual brain functioning work for pareidolia? First, the eyes take in visual cues and stimuli in the form of light, shapes, and colors. This information is sent directly to the occipital lobe, where it will be responsible for forming a visual image in the brain. After, this image is sent to the high level processing frontal lobe, where things like memory, communication, and consciousness lie. At this point, the frontal lobe can make connections and depict faces. There's debate whether this is a bottom up or top down process. It could be bottom up in the sense that humans see visual stimuli and depict the faces in them to try and make sense of them. However, you could also take the perspective of top down processing, in which we expect to see faces everywhere all the time because of previous knowledge in our brain. The concept of pareidolia also helps explain the Lincoln effect. The Lincoln effect is an optical illusion in which a portrait is hard to decipher up close, but becomes clearer the blurrier it gets. It is called the Lincoln effect due to Abraham Lincoln being the first picture example. Here is an example of a picture of a girl looking into a mirror, which suddenly begins to look at the like a skull the blurrier the picture becomes. The Lincoln effect actually explains the controversy also over the Mona Lisa. The question of whether she is smiling or not in the painting. If you look at the Mona Lisa indirectly, she is more likely to appear as smiling due to the shading and blurring that occurs. Looking at her in a more direct light, she is more likely to appear bored or frowning. There are also a few fun and interesting facts about facial recognition. One is that most faces seen with pareidolia are perceived as male, even though there is no sex or gender to any of the objects. Pareidolia is also expected to be the reason constellations were created, using the stars to make shapes of people and animals. In the psychological Rorschach test, pareidolia may be a method people use to project their own problems with. In something really fun, a piece of toast that looked like the Virgin Mary was also sold on eBay for $28,000. Facial recognition and pareidolia is necessary to being human. It helps us socialize and interpret our environment in a meaningful way. Try looking around sometime and see how many faces you can spot.